What's up? Welcome back to another No Eye Deer Unplugged. Real talk, no script, just the outdoors and how we actually see it. You know, we are coming off the 2025 Wisconsin gun deer season, and I've been thinking a lot about the future of hunting here in the state of Wisconsin. Every year we hear people say, hunting is dying, fewer hunters, less deer, less support, and the tradition is slipping away. But then you look at this year's numbers, and it's a little more complicated than that. For example, the opening weekend this year, the Wisconsin DNR reported that the total deer hunting license sold basically stayed the same as last year. And statewide, hunters almost harvested 4% more than 2024. But here's the catch. Even that bump, the 2025 opening weekend harvest is still about 1% below the 5-year average. And when you zoom out even further, you see the real story. Wisconsin has 100,000 fewer hunters than we did 20 years ago. So yeah, this year's numbers look steady, but the long-term trend, that's where things get concerning. And you can feel it at deer camps. 20 years ago, it felt like every uncle, every cousin, every neighbor, and friend all hunted. Now you look around and camps that used to have 20, 30 people are down to like 8. A lot of old timers have walked away from hunting. A lot of young adults raised in hunting are coming back to hunting, and a lot of kids never get started in the first place. And meanwhile, online, the loudest voices are the ones saying hunting is outdated, unnecessary, and cruel. And that perception hurts us more than most realize. Even us hunters are saying things like, there are no deer anymore. The DNR is ruining hunting. Wolves have destroyed the deer population. Too many special seasons. But here's the truth. Hunting funds conservation. Hunters pay for habitat work, research, game management, and public land improvements. If hunter numbers shrink, the entire system that keeps wildlife healthy shrinks with it. So, as we celebrate another Wisconsin gun deer season, it's worth asking, who's coming up behind us? Are we inviting the next generation into this world of hunting? Are we mentoring new hunters? Because if we don't, the 100,000 hunter decline of the last 2 decades becomes 150, then 200,000, and no amount of good opening weekend numbers will ever fix that. What are we doing to make sure this tradition lasts? Because hunting won't disappear from Wisconsin like this. It disappears slowly. When the next generation doesn't get invited, when fewer people buy licenses, when support slips just enough that the whole system starts to wobble. But the No Eye Deer boys believe it can also grow, it can thrive, and it can remain the heartbeat of fall in this state. If we keep telling the story, if we keep opening the door, if we keep showing people what hunting really is. So here is to another deer season in Wisconsin. Here's to the deer in our woods, and here's to making sure that the next generation gets a chance to love this as much as you and I do. All right, good talk. See you out there.
No